Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Weekly EPL Talk. In this episode, obviously, we have a lot to cover. So, let's first start off with Newcastle. This is the statement that came out from Premier League. Now, some of the key points that you gotta see. Following the completion of the Premier League Owners and Directors Test. And the long uncertainty for fans. Legally binding assurances, and all the parties are pleased. So it's pretty interesting what the statement that came out from Premier League was, but something to keep track. Were really all the parties happy? We have heard so far that there is an emergency meeting that Premier League clubs have called, that they were not informed properly about this whole takeover. Legally binding assurances. Does this mean what is the penalty? What will happen? So there is a lot of ifs and buts about this statement that came out. But again, this was the statement that came from Premier League. But what we are really interested in is the timeline. I mean, everything started from 2017, of course, when Mike Ashley officially declared that he is not able to manage the club with the finances and he will be selling the club. And then, of course, 2020 took few years for the advanced talks to happen between Mike Ashley and Stavely. And when the documents were released about the takeover, and then the whole saga started about Jamal Khashoggi's murder, as well as everything that went on with beIN Sports ban in Saudi Arabia, as well as the entire episode around Premier League clubs, the MPs of Britain protesting against this particular takeover, the director's test getting questioned, and so on and so forth. What does it bring to the Newcastle club? What exactly will happen here? Well, Newcastle, as you know, as a city, is a football mad city whose urban area is 8th largest in Britain with nearly 1 million residents. It has the 8th largest soccer stadium in England with a capacity of 52,305. But like other facilities, for example, Old Trafford, which we will talk about in a while, it needs modernization. For Newcastle fans, when we come to them, it means an end to the 14 probably wasted years under the current owner Mike Ashley, which we'll talk about more in the takeovers that have happened. But it's basically a jubilance for the fact that they got rid of a owner that they never wanted. And of course, it's not hunko-dory for the fans or the club itself. The involvement of the PIF obviously has some shadows to the club in terms of the human rights, in terms of exactly what will be the involvement. Will the money that is being projected for the club, will it really be given to them? Now, the other question is, what about other Premier League clubs? Like I said before, there is an emergency meeting which has been called. Now, what is this emergency meeting for, and what is it going to lead to? So the Premier League clubs have actually revolted at the Newcastle United takeover, which has shocked the Premier League. A year back, the director's test was failed, and a year later, suddenly with the beIN Sports lifting the piracy ban, everything has fallen in line, and within a couple of days, the whole takeover has completed. So it's not that the clubs are gonna derail or cancel this takeover. No, that's not what will happen. But it's an attempt for the league to know the general feeling about the decision, as well as the clubs want to find out exactly how the deal was approved and sanctioned by the Premier League just 24 hours before it was formally announced. Now, what will be the short-term, long-term impact that we can expect? Well, in the short term, we don't expect like suddenly, obviously the transfer window is still closed, so nothing can happen until January 1st. So what exactly will happen? Well, the very first priority of Newcastle club and the new owners will be to keep the club in the Premier League. Trust me, this sale or this takeover wouldn't have happened, let's say, if a year back Steve Bruce had got the club relegated. So as much as he's getting the flack at the moment, this sale has only been possible because Newcastle United are still in the Premier League, and that will be the number one priority for the new owners. They are not going to throw away money straight away. So if you go back, and we will talk more about the other club finances as well, but they're not going to throw away the money straight away. They are going to invest gradually in the months and year ahead. There's a lot of improvement that's needed, not just in the football club in terms of infrastructure, whether you have to talk about the stadium, whether you have to talk about the academy. All those need investment, and I think there will be one of their priorities that not just invest into good players but also invest into the infrastructure, the stadium and the academy. And Stavely knows she has got a huge job. She's gonna be the face probably of this particular club going forward as the owners. But that's a question actually, if you listen to the interview, she actually eluded answering that question. So it's gonna be very interesting how exactly the club will spend its money. And then of course you can think the fact that when I said 14 years of lost years, it's the fact that under Mike Ashley, before Mike Ashley took over, Newcastle United used to be amongst one of the top clubs. Leicester City was nowhere even near, but after Mike Ashley took over, Newcastle just went down. It became one of those clubs which got twice relegated, as well as where it used to stand on par, not probably with Manchester United, Liverpool, and your Manchester Cities or Chelsea, but it used to be on par with Tottenham. Sometimes Tottenham used to do well, sometimes Newcastle used to do well and qualify for European positions. But can we now think about Newcastle? Well, we always think about whether they are going to get relegated or not. So that is the kind of difference that Mike Ashley brought. And of course, we'll do his rating as well, exactly where he stood. So I do expect them to spend a lot of money in the short term in the January transfer window. I'm already hearing that they're going to raid Manchester United for some of their fringe players like Anthony Martial, like Donny Van Beek, like Eric Bailly. So there will be players who will be targeted. And of course, they will put money on the training ground as well, because something that Rafa Benitez, when he was Newcastle manager, he always had wanted, which was he had a desperation to upgrade the club, but he never got his wish. It was a marriage made in heaven, because Benitez needed a club which suited him, and Newcastle was certainly that club, but that money never came from Mike Ashley to support his ambitions. So those are the kind of things you expect in the short term, as well as what may happen in year from now. But in the longer run, obviously there will be renovation work, there will be upgrades. I am pretty confident that the club will be invested into by the new owners. They will want to also invest in Newcastle as a surrounding area. When it's a public wealth fund, sovereign wealth fund, it's not just gonna be the sports itself, it's gonna be everything around it, whether it's the hotels, whether it's the city itself. So they're keen to, I think what I personally feel is that they're keen to put money into the city and oversee a redevelopment of the area. So it will be very interesting to see whether they follow exact model that the sheikhs of Manchester City followed, which is they didn't just invest into the club and the sporting aspect of it, but they invested heavily into the area itself.